Okay. Um, you are well known that 1857 revolt is a important event which taken place very long before the attainment of Indian independence. Okay, so this 1857 revolt, which a a important um, event which mobilized the all people and also all rulers in India at that time, and many of the rulers, including small, which the rulers confined to very small kingdoms also, which participated in this voting. Yeah, it means according to V.D. Savarkar, it is a, a first war of Indian independence because it's mobilized all Indian society, not a majority, but uh, we call it as a starting step for the Indian national movement. Okay, so this is a spark which brought it's brought a movement in the nationalistic concept. Okay, so after this, you are well aware that 1885 there is a important incident taken place, which starting of Indian National Congress, and from 1885 to 1947, we call it as a nationalistic period. We call it. Okay, so which again, within this nationalism, we divide this this period into 3 to 4 pages. Okay, from 1885 to 1905, we call it as the extremist phase, and 1905 to 1920, we call it as first one is the moderate phase, and next one is the extremist phase, and then 1920 to 1947, we call it as a Gandhian. Okay, so these are the three phases in the phase of nationalism, Indian nationalism, and the final one is Gandhian era is an important phase which very close to the Indian independence. Okay, so through the efforts of many nationalist leaders, and mainly Gandhi, who was a forerunner to the Indian nationalism, and finally, under his leadership and under the leadership of Indian National Congress, finally we achieved the Indian independence in 1947. Okay, so for this, which is a long journey. Okay, so from 1885 to 1947, which is a long journey, which within this long journey, many sections, many groups, and many communities and classes which come on a single platform with the effort of this Indian National Congress. Okay, so before Indian National Congress, there are certain platforms you find, like Bengal East Indian Association, and Jamindari Association, and many Madras Mahajana Sabha. Likewise, many organizations, platforms already existed, but no organization is uh, no organization brought all these people into a one single or on a platform. Okay, so Indian National Congress, which made it, and finally, which paved the way to get the Indian National Indian attain the independence. Okay, so for this, there are many factors, which many factors for this growth of Indian nationalism. And we'll start by one, because you may you are require this in in the examination point of view, right? So I will give these aspects in one by one. Okay. So first of all, there are many factors which many factors which given rise to this Indian nationalism. So among this, the first one is the British imperialism. So the exploitation of British is the one of the most important concept which all the Indian society which oppose basically from the all sections of the society. And apart from that, not only the British exploitation and English as a medium of instruction, which also given a boost to this Indian nationalism. And other uh, other things also which given rise to this Indian national movement. Basically, the role of the press, and also and the role of the great intellectuals, and many and on and the Western education, which given a great scope to the Indians to fight against their the British exploitation. So all these are certain causes which given a scope for the Indian nationalism, rise of Indian nationalism. And the one more thing is 1857 revolt. The not only is 1857 revolt is not successfully ended, but which given scope to the Indian people in the society to to they unitedly fight against any any one who against the Indian society. Okay, so these are the important aspects which given rise to. So I will one clearly give you one by one. One is the economic impact of British rule. Okay, yeah, economic impact or economic exploitation. You are well known. Okay, so here the capitalist system in India, which unified its economy internally. Okay, so the capitalist system in India, which unified its economy internally, and the colonial rule broke village autonomy and balance between agriculture and handicaps. Okay, so the colonial system, the colonial rule, which is broke all the traditional systems in Indian society. Okay, so basically in Indian society, basically Indian rural agriculture is on the basis of self-sufficient economy. Okay, so we cannot see this commercialization of economy. You cannot see at that time. Okay, so only we are following the self-sufficient economy, and each and every thing which required in the rural were getting within their territories. Okay, need not to depend on any other other than the Indian territories. Okay, it means there is a closed economy you find, right? So all these traditional systems which broke by this British colonial rule. Okay, so the raising of the modern class of intelligentsia. Okay, so the modern class of intelligentsia also a important thing. Modern class of intelligentsia, which mobilize all the Indian society to fight towards this British exploitation. So particularly the intelligentsia which is from the middle class. Okay, so during the colonial era, there is a new section emerged, the section which we call as the middle class. Okay, so the middle class is a class which is a educated class who are working with the British, particularly at East India Company, as the gumastas or clerks or dubasis, and also working at various institutions of Britishers, and through that they are getting certain form of income, right? So by learning the English, they are getting certain income with working with the Britishers. Okay, so within this class, they had a balanced income regularly. So they regularly concentrate on the education, particularly on English education, so that they are getting a knowledge about the whole world. What are the things which are happened in the world at that time? Okay, so by that they are mobilized themselves and also mobilized the others in the society. Okay, so here they are mobilizing the Indian society, and particularly about the Indian society, how which, yeah, yeah, voice is not clear. Yeah, here the power has gone, so that's why my picture is not clear to you, but the voice may be clear. Okay, right. So this intelligentsia which mobilizing the Indian society according to according to their efforts, how the European nations are British East India Company which exploiting the Indian natural resources. Okay, so among them you find the two important economics. One is Dadabhai Nauroji, who given a drain of wealth theory, how the European nations which are draining the Indian sources, natural resources into the European nations. Okay, and another one is R.C. Dutt. Okay, R.C. Dutt is a first Indian economist who recorded the Indian national income at that time. Okay, so these not only R.C. Dutt or R.P. Dutt, Dadabhai Nauroji, many other educated intelligentsia who are mobilizing about the economical aspects, how the Britishers were exploiting the Indian natural resources. Okay, so likewise, many other middle class intelligentsia. Why we calling middle class intelligentsia means the intelligentsia which is comes from this middle class. Okay, so we don't find the middle class at that time, but the middle class is a newly emerged class at that time. Okay, so the certain income getting group turned into a separate class, separate division in the Indian society. That's we call it as the middle class. Okay. So next, when you see other factors, particularly socio-religious reform movements. Okay. So within this middle class intelligentsia, who started various socio-religious organizations to mobilize Indian society. Okay, so basically Indian society on the ground of various traditions and rituals they are following, because the majority of the people at that time also following a Hindu religious structure. Okay, so within the Hindu religious structure, you find the various rituals and traditions which they blindly follow. Okay, so those blind beliefs are superstitions which are emerged in the Indian society. So those eradicated by these middle class intelligentsia through the various organizations. Okay, so you are well aware that Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Brahma Samaj, and Dayanand Saraswati's Arya Samaj, and also um, and Theosophical Society by Anibisent, and Pradhana Samaj, and many other organizations who continuously effort their service to eradicate these social evils in the society, to mobilize the whole Indian society, to mobilize the whole society towards certain rationalistic ideas. Okay, so at that time you find the two important concepts. One is the rationalism and universalism. Okay, those who particularly developed during the period of Indian national movement. Okay, so many national leaders and reformers who started rationalizing the Indian society to uh, to um, rationalize the Indian society to know the new things on the grounds of scientific temple. Okay, so these also taken place, and universalism is nothing but the universalism, which is also another concept developed during this time, and we call it as the Viswasana, right? So likewise, the things which are happened in the universe are which is the things which are happened in the world, they are knowing by following the various writings of world-class authors and writers regularly through the English as a language. Okay, so they are the well-known persons or pioneers in the English, so that they are getting the information of the whole world, what the things are happening at that time. Okay, so likewise they are mobilized, and they also mobilized with the various organizations which they started. Okay, and a feeling of commonness among them, and a feeling of patriotism, love for motherland also they showed in the minds of the uh, the, the minds of the people in the Indian society. Okay, not only this, there are other concepts also you find. One is the Western education, administration, judiciary, modern means of transport. All these also which mobilize the Indian society. Okay, so first of all we'll see the Western education. Okay, so Indian society, whole Indian society, which following a traditional form of education. Okay, so within the traditional form of education you can't find any a scientifical values or a scientifical temper in it. Okay, so we cannot follow, we cannot get the logic or reasoning within it, and we cannot find technical aspects in within the traditional form of education. Okay, so it may be, but these are not that much uh, to get a, 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 a employment to the followers. Okay, so the Western education which entered in India. Okay, so entered in India through various Europeans. Basically this Western education is which mainly extended in Indian society through the Christian missionaries. Okay, so here we we also include the religious aspects also. Okay, so the Christian missionary, a missionaries which observed the certain social divisions which are not even evenly following in the Indian society. Okay, so they are observed that there is no egalitarian form of society in Indian society. There is a certain division in the society which are up and downs are they observe. Okay, so they want to mobilize Indian society, so that they introduced this education, particularly Western education, and with the education they also providing the various facilities also. Okay, so you are well known that the whole Indian society on the basis of Chaturvarna system, and within the Chaturvarna system, the lower Varna, which is we are speaking only Varnas. Okay, so apart from this Varna, are uh, out of this Varna system, number of lower castes you find. Okay, so these are lower class which are very far away from the Indian education in India. Okay, so which the thing which is observed by these Christian missionaries, they are attracting these lower classes, uh, uh, attracting the lower classes by providing the various basic needs to them. Okay, so along with education, they are providing the basic needs like shelter and cloth. Okay, so by the way, all the lower sections in Indian society, they gradually attracted to the missionary works. Okay, so not only a religious development has taken place and religious converts has taken place, along with along with this religious converts, there is a development in the education also taken place. Okay, so the Western education, which given a economical opportunities to them. How the economical opportunities they get means, the East India Company officials, they are appointing the English known people to as a gumastas or clerks or any dubasis like the translators at the East India Company, so that they are getting certain income. Okay, likewise, apart from these lower class sections, some other upper classes also which attracted to this Western education at that time. Okay, so when you see the administration also, okay, finally the Western education gives the positive elements like the spreading of rationalism or rationalistic ideas along with humanism, liberty, equality, fraternity, and nationalism. Okay, so the Western education which gives all these things. Okay, so through this education only, the Indians known about the various revolutions taken place at that time. Okay, so before that, okay, like the French Revolution which taken place in 1789 like that, and American War of Independence, also a successful revolution which taken place at that time. Okay, so all these the Indians known about these various uh, various revolutions which taken place in the whole world. Okay, and English educated Indians became familiar with the ideas and philosophy of great world thinkers like Benthos, Milton, Rousseau, Kant, Thomas Paine, Stuart Mill, Voltaire, Masni, likewise. Okay, so they are also the people who knows the English, they are reading about the various important personalities or great personalities in the world, and their life and their works also. Okay, so the British, for their own colonial interest, introduced modern means of transport, but it greatly helped as bringing the people of different regions and caste and class together. Okay, so there is a intention, a narrow intention of Britishers to introduce the modern means of transport uh, because of their own interest, and because for the sake of their own motherland, growth of their economy of their own motherland, even though which useful to the Indian society to a great extent, which also brought a unity among in the Indian society. Okay, so we already discussed many divisions and classes, communities are you find in Indian society. At that time, there is a long gap between the upper class to a lower class. Okay, no lower class directly meet with the upper class personality. Okay, so even though they are living in a particular territory, there is a long gap between these lower sections and the upper sections. Okay, so this modern means of transport, which given a scope to close these both sections. Okay, so while they are traveling in a coaches in a various coaches in a train, so no sections or no separation of no privilege to a upper class or upstream sections, and here each and everyone have to sit together and they have to travel. Okay, which given rise to gradually a unity among the Indian society. Okay, so many orthodox in Indian society, they they opposed this system because they also opposed the British policies, but gradually they got a certain unity among the heads. Okay, so likewise, the society had a certain gradually certain unity you find. Okay, so next one is the press and literature. Okay, so the in India you find many languages you find. Okay, so apart from the Hindi, English, and Sanskrit, a allied language, and Sanskrit is not a, uh, a common language. Okay, so which was used basically in official purpose, and apart from these, many languages also you find the Persian, Arabic, many vernacular language also developed at that. Okay, so you means nearly hundreds of languages you find. So within the hundreds of language, the major languages which followed the majority of the Indian society is only the Hindi, and next one is the Urdu, and other languages are Bengali is a vernacular language, and Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam, Kannada is southern Indian languages. Apart from these, Maithili, Bhojpuri, many other linguistics, dialects in the language you find. Okay, it means many languages you find, but no unity among all these language speaking regions or these societies at that time. Okay, so this may brought by a single language uh, which implemented by the Britishers is nothing but the English. Okay, so many languages in India, no language is confined to a particular no language is confined to the whole Indian society or whole Indian territories. Okay, so the whole Indian society is united with a single language called as the English. Okay, in 1835 you are well known that the during the governor generalship of Lord William Bentinck, this English language made as a medium of common medium of instruction at that time. Okay, so this brought all these language speaking people into a single platform. Okay, so and the English people also they are finally using the English as a medium of instruction, because there is no alternative for them. Okay, so at that time you find many English newspapers. You find basically uh, um, basically many Europeans who started many many journals and newspapers at that time. But uh, according to these English journals, and apart from these English journals and newspapers, many vernacular journals and newspapers also started. Okay, so you are aware that as a powerful social institution, the press facilitates the exchange of thought on a mass scale within a short time. The introduction of the printing press in India was an event a revolutionary significance. Okay, so Raja Ram Mohan Rai was the founder of nationalist press in India. His Samvad Kaumudi in Bengal, published in 1821, and Miratul Akbar in Persian, published in 1822, were the first publications with a distinct nationalist and democratic progressive orientation. Okay, so apart from the English journals and uh, uh, you are also well known that the Bengal Gazette and Madras Courier are the important English journals which brought a great change in Indian media at that time. And uh, according with these English journals, many Indian journals also started in the vernacular language. Particularly, these many newspapers started within the Bengali. Okay, so which is initiated by the Raja Ram Mohan Rai. And the emergence of number of nationalist and vernacular newspapers also played a very vital role in mobilizing public opinion and awakening national consciousness. Among them, Amrit Bazar Patrika, the Bengali, the Bombay Chronicle, the Tribune, the Indian Mirror, the Hindu, the Pioneer, the Madras Mail, and the Maratha Kesari, which is started by the Balagangadhar Tilak, also played an important role in exposing failure of British government in providing welfare measures to the people. Okay, so apart from these, the nationalists in India were very much eager to protect the independence of the press. Okay, Raja Ram Mohan Rai was the first fighter who filed a petition in the Supreme Court of Calcutta along with some enlightened nationalists uh, such as Dwarkanath Tagore, Harishchandra Ghosh, Chandrakumar Tagore, Prasanna Kumar Tagore, etc. For this purpose, the struggle for the freedom of the press has been an integral part of national movement in India. Okay, so you are well known according to the British within the British exploitation. So Britishers they want to curb they want to abolish the Indian newspapers and journals as much as possible, because these journals and newspapers are mobilizing the Indian society. Okay, so that is the cause how why the Britishers were to abolish many Indian journals. Okay, so another one is another thing you may uh, say which is a important factor which leads to growth of Indian nationalism is impact of international events. Okay, so several movements and events are taken place at that time. So within the, I already given that many one or two revolutionaries which given rise to a boost to the Indian national movement. Okay, so one is the uh, uh, American War of Independence, which taken place in 1776, and French Revolution in 1789,